Hey guys, welcome to Bastion Time. I am your host, Bastion. Yes, this video does look awfully similar to the previous one, doesn't it? And, you know, a little peek behind the curtain. Of course, I recorded it. I'm recording this immediately after having recorded that other one. The reason why I stopped recording that one is because it was getting awfully long, and I thought I was running out of time, but it turns out I still have another half hour before I need to start getting ready to head back to train some clients. So I decided maybe now is a good time to do a part 2 to tell you some more hilarious stories about members in my gym not quite understanding how to read signs that clearly tell them this area is just exclusively for personal training clients. Now, I want to clarify something. Though the sign does say that, the sentiment from upper management for the gym chain that I work for, and this is an international gym chain, so they don't care what's happening at my particular location. They just know what's been happening across the board, and apparently what's been happening across the board is a lot of this. And so they have decided to walk back what that sign says in order to make the majority of the members of the gym happy, because apparently a lot of them have been too interested in other things than to read a sign and then get defensive when the sign is pointed out to them. You might wonder, why is that even necessary? And maybe I should have explained this in the previous video. Well, a lot of people who hire personal trainers are individuals who don't feel comfortable just going to a gym and working out. I certainly was there at one point in my life. Thank goodness that my very first gym membership that I ever had came with free personal training sessions. Of course, the freeness of those sessions was figured into the cost of my membership. Let's be real here. Nobody's giving you anything for free. But thank goodness that that was the case, because that helped me feel more comfortable myself moving forward. I am just now making sure that this video is recording. Okay, it is. It gave me a weird indication that it might not be. You know, you're hiring a personal trainer usually for several reasons. One reason is you are brand new to a gym and you don't know how to do anything, and that's totally fine because we were all there. I certainly did not know how to do anything either at one point. And even watching YouTube videos and whatnot on how to do certain exercises, unless you can see yourself in a mirror while you're watching the YouTube video to make sure that your form is exactly the same as you're seeing the supposed expert, that's another issue. Just because there's a video on YouTube telling you how to do an exercise, what is this person's expertise? Is it just because they look great? Maybe not. Maybe that's not a credential, because there are all kinds of ways to look great that don't require knowledge. That's one reason. Another reason is, frankly, some people are just not comfortable being out in the middle of a gym. They're very self-conscious about what they look like while they're working out and things like that. So they like to be not necessarily out in the middle of the gym floor, and so they like to kind of be tucked away a little bit into the corner, which is where this area is. There are logical reasons why this area should be and is exclusive to personal training clients. However, this particular gym chain, I almost said their name there, has decided we're walking that back a little bit. If people are in the area that are not personal training clients, then supposedly the process is supposed to be that we might want to invite them to become personal training clients, which is frankly ridiculous and idiotic. I don't have time for that. I'm busy training people. The people who would have time for that are busy with their own stuff. It's just, that's not gonna work, ever. And has not worked in the about year that they've made this policy change. That does not stop members from not reading the sign that says in clear letters, exclusively for personal training clients, and that has led to many unfortunate conversations where I feel like I'm being as friendly and nice and understanding and smiley as humanly possible, and still all kinds of interesting adjectives have come my way. So the most entertaining one that I can talk about is a three-parter, and it's this fellow who's this older gentleman. And now I want to once again point out, unfortunately, there is some equipment that only exists in this personal training area. There are not duplicates of this equipment elsewhere. One of those things is a rope pull, which is just a rope attached to itself, wrapped around a pulley, and you just pull it. And that's it. And it's just a piece of cardio, and sure, it can work out your shoulders, and there are all kinds of different ways to pull the rope, but it's not that complicated. There's a gentleman who likes to do laps around the gym with one or two of his friends, an older fellow, and he's there for hours. guess he's retired or something. I don't know how he's there for so long every day. And mostly chatting, let's be real here. He's mostly just doing laps around the gym chatting, but hey, he's working out, that's great. He does, at various points, like to stop into the training area, which again is roped off with a big sign that says exclusively for training clients. He is not a training client, and use the rope pull. Okay, that's fine. But if my client needs to use the rope pull, then by God, my client needs to use the rope pull. You know, I have certain programs set up. I'm meeting a client 3 days a week. Chances are we're going to need to use that rope pull one of those 3 days. Not every day, but one of those 3 days. So, in any case, one day he was using the rope pull, and I went up to him and said, "So sorry, my client and I were actually just using that and it's part of our circuit, and now we have to use it again." And he said, "Oh, but I'm using it." And I said, "Yeah, I understand that, but unfortunately this is the personal training area. My client and I are using that as part of her circuit, and we need to use it right now because time is of the essence." And he's like, "Yes, I'm also on a schedule." And I'm like, "Are you though?" I did not say this out loud, but I'm familiar with this fellow. I see him every day. He's not on much of a schedule. He's there for hours. He can do the rope pull at some other time. It's fine. I was like, "Yeah, but she's paying for my time right now, and we need to use the rope pull." And he said, "Yeah, I also pay for a membership." And I was like, "Yeah, but I mean, she's not just paying for a membership, but she's also paying for a personal trainer, and she's got a very limited period of time. We got to get to this right now. So sorry." And then he was like very grumbly about it, but he finally understood. This conversation is going nowhere except that he's going to leave the rope pull. So he finally did, and thankfully it's right next to an exit that's not really meant to be an exit, but people move that's another topic for another time. In any case, the point is he left. And so I thought, okay, well, now he understands. And that is the policy, by the way. Even though it's fine for these members to come into this area, we get precedence, we get priority. So the trainers and their clients. The very next day, I'm at the edge of this area, and he's at a piece of equipment. He does use some equipment sometimes that's not in the training area. And he was at this piece of equipment that is right next, I'm within 5 feet of me. And he's telling his friend the story of his and my interaction from the previous day. And let me just say, his version of the story was wildly different than a version that I am telling you now, where I was a really mean monster and said all kinds of horrible things to him that I certainly did not say, and in tones that I did not say them. That same day, maybe a half hour later, when I have my next client, he is coming into the training area to use the rope pull, of course, and his friend has his smartphone out and is like, "Okay, and you've got 30 seconds starting now." And he has seen that I'm already entering this area, so he turns and makes eye contact with me and says, not to his friend, I mean, he's saying this to his friend, but let's be real here, he's saying it to me, "You don't always get 30 seconds around here." Is he a child? He's like at least 60 years old. At least. How is he so immature? How is this the way he's gotten to 60 years of age and has dealt with other human beings? I just don't get it. Like, so immature. But, you know, the hilarious part of this is that, yeah, according to my client's workout that I've already written for them, the rope pull is the next thing that we're gonna do. So, sorry, buddy, but hey, actually, you're right. So sorry, but yeah, we gotta use that. And then it was almost a verbatim conversation from the previous day. I pay for a membership too. Yes, my client pays for a membership, but they also pay for personal training, and this area is a personal training area, as you can read on the sign, exclusive to personal training clients. I'm happy to let you in here, but we do get priority. So sorry, but we have to use this right now. And so then he grumbles and leaves. We'd think that would be the end of it, but the very next day, as he's making his laps around the gym, and he comes within less than a foot of me because I'm standing right next to the edge of the personal training area, training my client on a rowing machine thing. He says, I don't know what their previous conversation had been, this friend of his and his, something about jerks. Something I hear, blah, 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 jerks. And as he's within a foot of me, he's like, yeah, like this guy to my left. Which would be funny if he said it like with a smile on his face, and it's like, ha ha ha, we've been through some battles these past few days, and I think you're a jerk, but that's okay, or, you know, something. But no, he was dead serious, and I was just like, I was just in a state of shock. Like, my brain could not fathom that that's what he was actually saying, and that it was actually about me. And as he got like 10 feet away, my brain finally rebooted, and I had no option but to say, "That's ridiculous," very loudly, because it is ridiculous. Come on. Again, in all of these interactions, I'm very pleasant. I mean, you can probably tell from my channel, I'm not really a mean person. I think I've been mean in my life maybe a total of twice, and I would even say that in both of those instances it was very justified. But, you know, we're all our own, what's the opposite of worst critic, to best supporter. That's the story I wanted to tell you guys about today, and there will be more such stories. Anyways, that's it for story time today. See you guys next time. Bye, guys.